Hey, so I'm making this video for outside hitters, any pin hitters. Mostly it's about arm swings. I don't see a whole lot of people teaching arm swing things. And I'm kind of just using Peter here as an example. He's on my club team. He's obviously going to USC. He's 6'7". He just came back from an injury, so he's kind of progressing in his hamstring. So he's progressing back to hitting the ball a little bit more. I'm going to go over a couple clips here. And then I'm going to explain some more things while we go along. First, I just start on the box. So trying to get his arm more coming back, not draping down. Here you can see a nice elbow high. I like this left arm here. Coming back, this one's a little bit nice. This one he really steps into, so you're going to notice most part of the time that when you hit, you want to fall into the ball, not to the side or to the left. So that one he does a nice job of going forward. Here you can kind of see the arm coming down just a little bit. The left again is good, but you want to sequence the left going forward at the same time he moves forward. So this one was pretty good where he moves forward at the same time as he hits it. It's a good contact point too. So, important toss. Not a bad hit. He looks pretty loose with his arm here. You can see how quickly the left goes before his hips turn. So he's kind of, his hips should already be kind of turning right there a little bit more. Good contact, nice and high. Spine is a little straight, which is nice, or a little bit curved, which is good. Obviously you can see on the toss here. Any toss to the left, you got to make a drastic move. I'm also going to talk about progression of errors. So if you make kind of an error, or how your body reacts and tries to counter those errors. So by going kind of slow or unconventional, or not, not feeling exactly normal. Normal like how you hit it or what you're used to, how your body kind of, the next rep will counter that. Want to get those hands a little bit more curled over. See how the wrist here is kind of flexed over. You can kind of see the majority of the ball over here. Make sure that wrist is here and then snapping down on top of it. From another angle, I like that one a lot. He kind of loads. You want to kind of curl up your wrist. You want to load it. You want to keep it close to the chest, kind of coming straight across. You see before he kind of dropped his hand. This one was just kind of straight across. Still very arching his back a little bit too much. But then he comes forward, and you can see out to the side a little bit. You see how he's ending like this? He should be ending forward more. But I like how he just kind of lets his arm go loose and then kind of slings it around really quick. It's good slow to fast. And you can see right after, not such a good one here, where it's kind of tense, and this is what I'm talking about with this arm here. How it's kind of inverted differently. It's here and then here. It's kind of hard to keep, and it's kind of away from the body too. So it kind of makes it a little bit slower. And then he just kind of, it's also kind of a claw hand. You're kind of a little bit too stiff, a little bit too slow here. we're trying to get consistency here, so all reps are trying to be the same. A little bit same on here. So I like to start on the box first because it's obviously, you want to break down the arm motion. This is a little bit too low. Depending on how high the set is, how fast your arm is, how comfortable you feel, it's either, you don't want to go too low, but you don't want to go too high right away. Too low, not too high. So you can see his feet kind of off the box. His kind of back is arched this way. We want to kind of be this right foot going forward and down a little bit, and having our momentum carry us this way. His momentum's carrying him that way. Want momentum going this way with our feet too. And you can see Joe and I talking a little bit about this. We don't want to go necessarily just straight up like this. We want to kind of come around. You don't want to jack your arm just elbow back straight away. But you want to kind of move it around a little bit. Keep it kind of coming around there. It's actually a pretty good one. So I think he's asking me a question to do that, but we're saying no, just kind of be loose, whip it around. So he actually does pretty good on this one. So here you can kind of see, still kind of inverted a little bit. I would like that hand and the thumb kind of up. The thumb kind of up a little bit more. So the thumb's kind of down. You want to get kind of closer to your ear here. And the hand looks down like this. You want to kind of turn the hand sideways. So it's like the back of your hand is kind of facing your ear. Not the side of your hand facing your ear. See, like that? Kind of want the back of your hand like with thumb down. So thumb down more a little bit. But it's slow to fast, and then it gets on top of the ball, so he's still elbow above the ear. That looks pretty nice. Momentum, its body momentum is really good though, at least. Then you can see one not so good here. Again, slow. You can see the arm is like completely isolated off downward here. And then everything's just kind of the same speed and slow. You don't really want that so much. Still kind of everything's a little bit wrist. I see the ball's not really rotating down. It's kind of rotating to the side. So he's kind of getting to the side spin on the ball here. So you can see hand contact to the side a little bit too much. So here's a good one. This first one is pretty smooth and pretty fast, and the second one's kind of slow. I like that one a lot. I think this one was one of his best ones right here. And maybe it's a little bit down, but you're on the box, it's fine. Gravity will kind of, when you're actually jumping, will pull you up. But it's smooth, it's close to the body, it's smooth. Sequencing, he's going a little bit backwards, you can tell, see. I would like a little bit more forward when he contacts the ball. So he's contacting it there, he's still going kind of back. I'd like to see a little bit more forward, hips, shoulders kind of aligned here. Toss the ball out in front of you more. There you go. I think that's actually one of his best ones right there. At least his follow through. His arm is a little bit bent. I don't like that so much, but I like how fast he flies and he gets on top of it. That's really good forward. Now, this is a guy Wantarena right here. You can't really tell so much, but his arm is flexing back. He's coming back to himself. He's moving forward every time he hits. This is standing. This is one of the only ones I can find standing of somebody hitting. I'll try to post the video. This, for some reason, it zoomed in a lot of the other videos, so you'll see. He's kind of hitting it off the top of the, like a basketball check-in spot, so it's kind of impressive, where he's just kind of hitting it back and forth, but he's always, momentum is going forward, he's contacting out in front. He's just sequencing it well. His left hand's in, swims out, comes back close to his heart. You can see his open hand here, his open left hand. His wrist, his thumb is up. Forward momentum, forward momentum. Every time he hits it, forward momentum. Forward momentum. Let's just play at full speed here. Let's see one more on the box. Great swing here. I think this is one of his best ones at the end here. A little bit off of one leg. You kind of want to go forward a little bit more, but his arm is fast. He's whipping his arm through at least. He's getting on top of it, driving on top down. Alright, here's some actually hitting with some jump here. You know the difference. You're going to notice a big difference between when actually guys starting to jump and hit as opposed to when they're standing on a box or standing and hitting. Because when you're jumping, obviously, momentum takes your arm upward, and we want one of the best hitters in the world always kind of seem a way to pull their arm back right when they're at their peak, still standing on the ground. So when their double arm lift is peaking up, and his left arm is still going up high, and then the right arm starts to curl up. I usually like to do thumb up and kind of curl it around. So this is kind of, we're going to go over some video of practice. This is just after the box. So if you can do it on the box first, then it's going to be a progression of box, then jump. So let's see what it looks like here. I picked his best hits, obviously. This is a couple of his best hits of the day. So I didn't just put all video. Alright, let's take a look at this whole slow motion. He has a really good jump and approach, and his lower body is almost perfect. So he's 6'7", he jumps pretty well. So it's just the arm kind of needs to get a little bit more strength and kind of pull around a little bit. So here we go. Good double arm lift. Very good. You can learn a lot from that. Legs in perfect order, going forward, jumping really well. But this is what we're talking about right here. Both arms go up straight like a rebound. This is not the best thing we want to see. We want to see this right arm starting to curl and cock around a little bit here. Here it's still going up here. And then just kind of swatting it at the top. I mean, look how high he's getting over the net. Should be able to kind of thunder this ball more. It's a good hit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good hit, but it's for being that far over the net. And this is coming off a hamstring injury too, so he jumps higher than this usually too. This is one of his first practices back after a hamstring injury. And it takes 2 bounces to get to the wall here. So you lose a lot of momentum going up and up and up and up and up, so. Let's take another look. Here's Jack, he's a pretty strong guy, he's their other opposite. As compared, he doesn't jump as high, but he has a good, strong arm. And you can see kind of bounces it off the backboard here. So whereas he doesn't jump necessarily as high, but he gets a lot more force into the ball here. Arm going up a little bit still, but it's at least right about here. It's still, see the difference here? Here, and then it's out and up. So he's kind of using his pec. The other attempt, when you're just going your arms up, you're not really using your chest muscles. So he can curl his, so he's curling his arm out. Still gets a good hit on it. There's Peter again. See, he's flying, he's gliding to the ball. Bam, straight up, both arms, just straight up like a rebound almost. There's not a whole lot of motion there, it's just kind of back and forth. So whereas he's hitting way up here, you can see there's not a lot of speed on the ball, there's not a lot of power on the ball. One of his better hits, let's see what it looks like. Not a whole lot of hip rotation either, it's just, you can see the SC number on the back the whole time. I mean, look, you want to be able to not see it and then see it, so you can see SC the whole time. There's no, his hips kind of are staying the same. You want to almost turn sideways completely here and then whip around that way, whip around that way. So more hip rotation, more getting your left kind of hip parallel to the net. I'm sorry, not parallel, straight ahead to the net. See, that one doesn't go up to the basketball hoop at all. See a different angle. Big double arm lift. His legs are good, he generates a lot of force. But right there, you should be starting to break those arms. So right there, that's, you can see right here. Up and up, and then there's very little motion. It's just kind of up and back. Better forward flexion. I want to see more hip turn though. I want to see more hip. I can see the SC too much. Here's Wallace from Brazil. He's kind of a 6'5", 6'6", maybe at the most. Jumps really well, but kind of has an interesting approach and arm. But let's just look at some pro video here. Interesting hit, but you can see all the best players in the world have this really uncanny ability of stopping their arm really quick, or kind of curling it around here. So. Big double arm lift, and then bam, you can see it right here. Left arm, right arm are already starting to curl right when he's about to hit it right. There, he's already starting his arm swing. Already starting his arm swing. Interesting wrist away. So here we got 2 in a row here. Here. Up. There. We got up. There, so you can see the difference. This is a little bit too zoomed in to see this one right here. I'm not sure exactly why it got zoomed in, but don't worry about it. Here's Matt Anderson hitting slow motion video here of him hitting in Zenit Kazan. For Zenit Kazan here on the right side. This is a warm-up hit, so let's watch it one more time. You can see a lot. Big step close, looks just like it. Legs are good. He's stepping, he's way behind the net. He's jumping right there already. His arm is already starting to kind of break. See, it doesn't, comes here. That's about as high as his right arm will get. He's really good at his left arm too. His left arm kind of curls just like Peter. I've been teaching Peter to do that with his left arm. So you can notice the left arm is right here. And the right arm, that's as high as the right arm gets. So he does this kind of swimming motion also. And you can see the left arm is coiling out, kind of making a swimming motion to get some more momentum. And he got it here, so that's as high as the arm gets, and all of a sudden it goes straight backwards and it's parallel. It's really nice. Straight lines, straight lines. Really good here. A lot of momentum, and he's kind of just coiled up. He's got this uncanny ability to get his arm, elbow very close to his head, very straight. And even though he's bouncing the ball, he's hitting it still up here. He's not hitting it down here at the net. He's bouncing this ball and he's got it way up there, so coils. Out front, look at that when he's out front, look how far this is. He's got this line perfect, his legs down perfect, back flexion perfect. Legs down. Arm whips right through the ball. And I had to include a little bit of myself here, obviously. This is from a game at UCLA. So this is on the right side also in a match. Arm comes up, but it starts to move back. So I get that kind of V going here. Hitting it out in front, back is straight. Whipping really hard through it, whipping, my arm whips right through it here really quickly. And I'm bouncing this ball, but it's up here. I'm not bouncing it down here or down here or down here. High contact point, very high contact point here. Of course I had to include myself a little bit, you know. People ask though, so here you go. Alright, let's move on. Let's see Peter again from this angle. Alright, here's another view. Jumping up. And you can tell from what you want to see here. Good acceleration though, good forward acceleration. That looks perfect right there. That looks perfect right there. Left hand's tight. Here's just a couple more examples of different players, how they swap their arm, and just giving you, this is Dante from Brazil here. You can see it's just this is really interesting here. They thumb up. It's kind of a natural break. If you put your thumb up, it kind of is like a bicep curl almost. Left up. It's classic here. Momentum going forward. Arm coming back. So this is the way you're using your, you're really activating your back muscles to kind of relax your arm, and then you really get your chest involved here. Here's Jiba also. He has a real roundhouse kind of swing. It's a little bit, I mean, how low you go is determined on how fast your arm, how high the set is, how much control you have. You don't have to go that low, you don't have to go that high. It's just, it's a very individual basis, so that's why I really encourage you videotaping and finding a player that's your similar height and athleticism and kind of matching up to see what they do, what you do. It's, you know, it's never a bad idea to compare notes on these kind of players. Jiba's about 6'3", Dante's about 6'7". The guy before, Man Anderson's obviously like 6'10", but Jiba's a good player to watch because he's only 6'3", so. You can see right there again, you can see it. I know it's pixelated, but you can definitely make out this arm, and then this arm's like that. Like that, and then like that here. Momentum going all forward. There, perfect, right there, you can see it perfectly. Elbow high on contact, pushes it through. Even Gustavo here, the middle for Brazil here. He does the same thing. Arm here, other arm here. Left here. Jiba's hitting on the way up, you can tell because his hair flares up a little bit, so he's getting at a high contact point. Very high contact point. Especially for someone that short. Definitely for someone that short. Here's Dante again. This is a better angle here. It's arm swing starting on the jump on the way up, so right there you can tell it's already starting. More momentum, more whip. More momentum equals more whip and more power. Alright, here's a really interesting thing. This is at the end here. This is Peter jump serving, so we're trying to get him to kind of coil that arm, and he's been doing the same thing kind of with his jump serve. And there's a very interesting actually progression that happens here. He you have to kind of take a step backwards a little bit sometimes to improve. You got to break down your form. So he might not hit it as hard right now, but give it a couple weeks. This is a process, of course. But this is the first time I really recorded this and seen him really get that natural break. But there's about 5 serves here, and you can tell the first one's really good, and then the second couple, they get kind of worse, and then he goes back to his old kind of style. So this is obviously very natural. It's going to happen. This is why it takes time. So I'll let the first one go. This is the best one. This is one of the only times I've seen him really do it here. So yeah, let's see. This is his first jump serve. You can kind of see it looks like a lot of motion, it looks like a lot of speed, but it's a simple process, really. He's starting while he jumps here. Good double arm. Everything looks the same. Step close looks the same. That doesn't change. Everybody's step close is the same. Every good player. Really big left. Heel to toe on the right, left. Left foot and forward, kind of curled a little bit. So that way our hips kind of are facing that way. Right there. I've never seen him do this before, except for now. This looks perfect. Look at that. This might be the first time he's ever done it in his whole life. Obviously, we want to be going out more. He's kind of, you can see how straight up and down he is. And you can see how kind of, far left everything is. But I mean, it's just such a new motion. And I can tell you this because I've done the same thing. I had shoulder surgery and I did not have a great arm swing, and I've worked and worked and worked on it. And I took my hitting percentage from 293 in my freshman year on a bad shoulder, and then it went down to 220 when my shoulder was really torn as a sophomore. And then I picked my hitting percentage went from 220 all the way to 320 in between my sophomore and junior year in college. And we won the national championship. So I just studied all summer, all year. It took me months and months, but I mean, I was so dedicated. So it definitely takes some, you can have all the coaches you want, but self-perseverance and self-knowledge is an amazing thing here. I mean, this is the first one he's ever done. It's going to take hundreds. Just being very realistic with people. But here's the progression here. So you can see the first one. This is his first serve. Which he gets it in. I mean, it might be a little long, but there's a couple balance and forward flexion and different things, but we're just looking at the arm here. Just looking at the arm. Here's the next serve. Alright, so you can tell he misses it kind of low here, so he's starting to go. This one you can tell goes a little bit higher. See how this is reaching now. Looks a little different than the last one. It's starting to go up. And this is what usually happens when he jump serves. Kind of drags down. So let's look at the first one again really quick. I mean, look at the curl. This is just what we're looking at right now. We gotta take each step, break down your technique part by part. So I'm not worried about where his back is or where his shoulders necessarily are. I mean, just to get this arm kind of doing this, it's just a start. So that's all I'm really worried about. So you can only tackle one thing at a time. So if you're really going after these things, if you don't need more power, if you're already a really powerful player, then you don't have to change things. Or if your arm's not hurting, sometimes you get pain in your shoulder and you have to kind of change things to accommodate. So it's mostly about either if your shoulder hurts or you're not hitting the ball as hard, and so we're trying to get some more power here. Alright, that's the first one. I keep replaying this one because it's the only really good example we have, so I just wanted him to keep watching it. Next one, you're going to see it. It's okay, it's a little bit different. You can see it goes up a little bit too there, up a little bit too much. So that's the second serve. It's an interesting evolution here. Here's the third serve. Alright, so he goes right back to the old style right here. Everything's up here. This is just old. And he gets it in, so he feels comfortable. But he knows he can feel the difference now. Once you start to feel the difference, then you know you're then you can be self-coached. You can be self-taught. So as long as you kind of start to feel things, then you can do things on your own. So it's interesting because he knows he kind of did the old school way. The next serve, he kind of really overcompensates. See what here? There you go. So he's trying to. Your brain is an interesting way of learning things in muscle memory. So he knows he just did the other old way, so he wants to go back to the other way. So he kind of speeds it up and gets too tight here. Almost curls it, but there's a lot of thinking, and then he contacts it there. So you can see, obviously, the contact point is difficult. Yeah. But you have to be okay. You have to check your ego a little bit. You gotta be like thinking a month ahead from now. What yourself is gonna be thinking yourself a month from now. Don't think about it in terms of days or a week. Think about it every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Videotape, compare every 2 weeks. Don't compare everyday video. It takes a process, so check your ego. Alright, here's the next serve. Compensated too much to the left. You can see kind of a little bit of old school style, and the toss is so important too. You can tell the toss is so important here. Alright, here's Matt Anderson serving. One of the most technical hitters we have here. But we'll show it to you twice. For those who haven't seen my other videos on Matt Anderson, this is the same serve, but good toss, goes way out in front. Equal double arm lift. His hips and everything are facing forward. You can see his number here, forward. He has a nice bend, obviously, right here again. Breaks the arm. Momentum going this way. You can't see his jersey number. He turns his jersey with forward flexion. And then his hips are facing this way, so he's twisting his hips completely from here to here, which gets you a nice lot of torque, and you can stay tall here. So you can see right here his knees, everything's facing that way. Contacts it up, now his knees are facing that way. So he's still on this plane, and he's rotating on this axis. He's not jumping way over here and then landing way over here. So he's not going over here and then doing that. He's staying on this axis and then twisting and turning on his spine here. So that way you can stay tall, twist, good speed. Last time, let it run through. Routine, toss, routine, twist. Twist, go. Here's Leon hitting a little bit. You can't really see it that well, but the next video shows his arm swing more, but it just allows, you know, to open up and to hit outside your body a little bit more. You can see the crazy angles that he hits here. Crazy angles there. Yeah, I don't know why it's zoomed in too much, but here you go. Here's the last one. Here's also Leon here. You can really see him hitting the pipe. He generates so much force in such a small little runway too, so he takes a big left, right, left. Right there, his arm's already curled. See how his arms already gets curled. He's the best player we have today right now. He's the highest paid player. He's the best player. He's the highest paid player maybe of all time. He's 25 years old. He started for Cuba when he was 16. All this good stuff. You can find lots of videos on him. I'm not going to explain too much about him, but just look at the arm swing. How it automatically starts right there. You can clearly see it curled here. Clearly seeing it curl. Last time. So I mean, in closing, I'm just kind of comparing one player to show other players what's going on and this and that. So I mean, it's not necessarily going to happen overnight, which I really want to emphasize here. Like I said, check your ego and kind of videotape and watch and videotape. So this was kind of just an intro. This wasn't my full video on arm swings. This is just kind of, I wanted to show Peter because he'd been out for, you know, a couple weeks with a hamstring injury. I just wanted to kind of show him, you know, his what he's doing right now, so that way he can kind of learn quickly. So if anybody else is watching this, hope you enjoy it. And here's one or two more of Leon. There we go. Enjoy. Enjoy.